of the Imitation of Christ by Thomas A. Kempis. Book 3 of Interior Consolation. Chapter 20 of the Confession of our own Infirmity and of the Miseries of this life. I will confess against myself mine injustice. I will confess to Thee, O Lord, my infirmity. It is oftentimes a small thing which casts me down and troubles me. I make a resolution to behave myself valiantly, but when a small temptation comes, I am brought into great straits. It is sometimes a very trifling thing whence a grievous temptation springs up. And when I think myself somewhat safe, while I have no feeling, I sometimes find myself almost overcome by the merest puff of wind. Behold, then, O Lord, my low estate and my frailty, which are every way known to Thee. Have pity on me, and draw me out of the mire, that I stick not fast therein, that I may not abide utterly cast down forever. This it is which often beats me back and confounds me in Thy sight, that I am so prone to fall, and have so little strength to resist my passions. And although I do not altogether consent, yet their pursuit of me is troublesome and grievous, and it is a weariness to live thus daily in conflict. Hence my infirmity is made known to me, because loathsome imaginations always much more easily rush in upon me than they depart. Would that Thou, the most mighty God of Israel, the zealous lover of faithful souls, wouldest behold the labor and sorrow of Thy servant, and stand by him in all things, to whatsoever he directs his steps. Strengthen me with heavenly fortitude, lest the old man, the miserable flesh, not fully subject to the Spirit, should prevail and get the upper hand, against which it will behove us to fight as long as we breathe in this most wretched life. Alas, what kind of life is this, where troubles and miseries are never wanting, where all things are full of snares and enemies? For when one trouble or temptation departs, another comes. Yea, and while the first conflict lasts, many others come on, and when least expected. And how can a life be loved, which has such great bitterness, is subject to so many calamities and miseries? How can it even be called a life, since it begets so many deaths and plagues? And yet it is loved, and many seek their delight in it. Many blame the world as being deceitful and vain, yet they are not willing to leave it, because the lusts of the flesh have too much sway. But some things draw them to love the world, others to despise it. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life draw to the love of the world. But the pains and miseries which justly follow these things breed a hatred and loathing of the world. But, alas, sinful pleasure prevails over the worldly soul, and she thinks it a delight to be under these briars, because she has never seen nor tasted the sweetness of God, nor the inward pleasures of virtue. But they who perfectly despise the world, and make it their aim to live to God under holy discipline, experience the divine sweetness promised to those who truly forsake all. And these see clearly how grievously the world is mistaken, and in how many ways it is deceived. And that concludes Chapter 20 of Book 3 of the Imitation of Christ.